What up, what up, what up? Bankroll Tim, bet it up. It's Friday. Friday the what? 4th? February 4th, 2022. Up in the shop. Did a little work on the 442. My son, Jaden, right there. Put the control arms and everything in the back. We squared up the rear end. But back on this GN. Finishing up this frame notch. Been in here all day, as you can see. So the undercoating originally on the inside of the frame was a mother effer, so you know, it had the welding and all boogered up, which whatever. I filled the gaps. So as you can see, I did a short little video earlier I put on IG, but there's still a little more filing that I can do to it, but look at that frame notch. Look at that frame notch. Let's go underneath. Look at that frame notch. Boom. So that's that side is basically 100%. Now, I was just on this side. This side needs a little bit more, you know, a little squareness and stuff of it. You see how it's like a square up top. I mean, it's never gonna be exact, but right here you can tell it's still hot, but it's just a low spot. See, there's a piece of 3/16, 6 inches long here with a little bend in it, like I said, in the vise. There's a piece here 6 inches long. Boom. So this has got just a little dip in it, but I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. Just this right here is what I'll do is I'll go back over it, you know, weld some more over it to be able to, cause that's a nice little divot, if you guys can see that. I don't know, it just dips down a little bit, but I'm gonna make it nice and right. So yeah, that's what's going on with the frame notch. As you can see, the bottom of that one too looks like the other side. I do some basic measurements to make both sides look kind of the same, but you'll never get them exact. But yeah, that's what we got going on the GN. Hopefully O'Reilly's has my paint tomorrow. I called today, they said the truck didn't deliver for a couple days because of snowstorm, whatever. But hopefully they have the paint. I'll be able to come in here, finish off this side, and then get the whole front frame painted, cleaned up, clean up these wheel wells a little bit more, do what I'm gonna do to that, and be able to bolt the whole front end together. We have the coilovers for the front, sitting here on the desk, ready to go. This one is the A224 shock, which is for the G-body Viking. And then we got the 550 spring. So I normally go with a 550 spring with a 26 on the front. And it sits decent. And then if you want to turn it up some, you can turn it up some. So that's the setup for the front. I know my desk is a mess, it's always a mess. The QE1 upper and lower control arms over there. The spindles are in the car. I got to get that set up on there, then drill and tap those, drill and tap them so I can put the brakes on it. But as for the 442 right here, boom, squared up the rear end. Like I said, my son changed the control arm, so now we got the uppers and the lowers in it. The bolts that were in the uppers on the back side, they had a metric bolt for the car, but the bushing is a 1/2 inch hole because it's a 9 inch. So there was a lot of slop right there. So that wasn't good. And that was the other arms, which are the universal car lifts junk. Don't waste your money on that junk. Big, bulky ass, single adjustable garbage. Anyways, so rear end is squared up, boom, set the wheel up on here. And we have, what is it, 5 3/4 to the front of the wheel, from back of flange of the wheel out. The wheel is 5 3/4. The car up to there, from here out, is 6 1/2. So it's 3/4 of an inch that it sits under. So I'm gonna trim the upper lip just a little bit. Got to do my notch back here, because we put a tire up on here and it's touching. So do this notch, and then like I said, this car's clean, that I'll be able to do the same thing I did to get Kevin's gold Cutlass. Just sit here and tap, 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 tap with the hammer over and over and over and over and over, and it'll roll. There's no sounds in the trunk, so it's not gonna hurt nothing in the trunk, but it's so solid, it's not gonna break apart. Very little bit right here, which all you're seeing is chunks of undercoating. I don't believe there's any rust holes there, but I'll just tap, 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 tap. The more you tap it, the more heat gets in it as it flexes, and it'll start doing what you want it to do. You don't want to just beat the living shit out of it with a sledgehammer. Nice size hammer, you'll be good. So yeah, the rear end height is basically set for setup. The brackets right there for the coilover, the cross brakes is right there, boom. I gotta cut the pockets out up there, and like I'll show you guys. The pocket right there for the shock area gets cut out. Then the bar goes right in that corner of that weld and comes across. G-bodies, the bar goes towards the back. Then the shock tabs come off the front of the bar to come down to the rear end. A lot of these guys are putting the cross braces up here on top in front and running off the back of it. And now look how close. The car's not even all the way down, but there's not much room here. So if you put the cross brace here, I see a lot of cars that the upper control arm is tapping that area, and I've seen it a lot. And then when they're trying to put the anti-roll, like I said, anti-rolls on G-bodies, you got all this room to set it up. And these guys are putting undermounts on there. Doesn't make any sense. Except for knowledge and know-how and custom fabrication. All right, well, that's basically all I got for you today. Everything's dirty because I've been in here grinding. Look at that, Chicago club. Chicago, Chicago, Chicago. But all right, y'all. Frame notch, GN, finishing up. Front will be together in a couple days. And the back of the 442 will be together in a couple days. So that's what I got for you. And I'm out. Appreciate y'all. Batted Up Customs. Bankroll Tim. I'm out.